Hey guys, thanks for tuning into CMTEQ channel in the series of tutorial on basics of motor control circuit. Now in front of us here, we have an induction motor here and we have a water pump that is attached to it, right? So the induction motor here need to drive this water pump so that you can solve the problem that they say here in the problem statement, that you need to design a motor control circuit to start a water pump that fills up a swimming pool. Basically, that's your job. Now, this is a very simple circuit. Obviously, you just need to press start and your motor need to run, and then the water pump must just pump water out. Okay. Now, as an electrical engineer or a technician, you have at your disposal several types of circuit that you can design for controlling the induction machine or the induction motor here. Okay, that now you don't need all of them, because here you just need a simple start to drive this water pump here. Okay, and obviously you need to make use of these safety devices, which are fuses, right? Overload and emergency stop. That is, in case things are getting out of hand, you need to be able to stop before it gets worse. Now, before we move forward, please make sure that if you find this tutorial useful, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to CMTEQ channel. Turn the notification on for more tutorial like this in the future. Now, you have to design a very simple control circuit here to solve this problem here. And the most basic circuit that we can use in this problem here is the DOL, also known as a direct online. Now, the direct online basically just means you just plug this motor here straight onto your mains, right? Your wall plug, okay? And then you just press start and the motor is going to start, okay? And it's going to pump, and obviously you need to set up the timer or when you want the motor to stop so that it cannot overfill the swimming pool, right? So you just need that direct online DOL motor starting circuit, okay? But now you know that DOL direct online is very dangerous, because the motor is going to draw. Remember, the motor, when the motor is starting, the current will go very up, okay? The current will rise up 4 to 8 times the normal full load current, okay? So if you have a very big motor here and you couple it like that, and it's going to basically just trap your circuit, because it's going to draw too much current. So this is this type of direct online This direct online circuit is suitable for small motors that the power must be below 4 kilowatt, right? So that when the motor current goes 4-5 times higher than the normal full load current, the power is not going to go way high. That will be above your power supply specs on your wall outlet or wherever your DB box that you plugged the motor to. Okay, now let's go ahead and draw our control circuit and the power circuit. So the control circuit is responsible for controlling the way the motor is going to be behaving, basically how you drive it. And the power circuit is responsible for supplying the energy into the motor. Now, the control circuit is where we connect the emergency button, the overload, the start button, and all of that. And they're going to control the power circuit, right? Now, because the control circuit is often made of low voltage equipment, so there is a step down transformer that need to be connected to the mains and take the power from the mains to step it down and supply to the control circuit. So that is often a 24 volt, right? So now we need to first place our fuse, because remember, we have to have a fuse that must protect our motor in case of an overcurrent, for instance. Then we need an emergency stop button, right? So this is the emergency stop. Then we need an overload in case we're trying to power more than our circuit can handle. Then we need the overload to trip. So this is our OL contact. Okay, then we need a start button. So a start button, we can basically just put it like that, and then the contactor that must close when we place the start button. And here we're going to have the motor contactor. Okay, so that will be the contactor coil. So if we say this is K1, okay, so this is going to be K1 contactor that is going to energize when we press the start, and the motor is going to drive. So this is going to be minus 24 volt, and this is going to be plus 24 volt. So this is our control circuit. Then on this side here, we must have the power circuit. Okay, so the power circuit, so this is a 3-phase motor. Now we can go ahead and draw our power circuit. So our power circuit, we've got our blue line. We place the fuse. Then we've got the yellow line. Then we have our red phase. Okay, now on our red phase, obviously we've got a contactor that is K1 that need to be energized when we press the start button. So let's go ahead and draw our contactor. So it's a 3-phase contactor. So this contactor, and this is K1. Okay, then we have an overload contactor that is also connected. So we're going to draw our overload symbol on each of our 3 phases. Okay, then obviously we're going to have our motor here that is connected. So this is in simple term our control circuit and our power circuit for the direct online motor control circuit to control the water pump that need to fill up the swimming pool. Now I'm going to go ahead and test this circuit using Automation Studio. So basically it's a simulation software. We're going to wire the control circuit, and we're going to then wire also the power circuit and see obviously how this control circuit is going to control the power circuit. So stay tuned until the end of the video how we're going to do it. Now to build and test our circuit, we're going to use Automation Studio since we do not have the physical component to build the actual circuit. Now we can make use of the Automation Studio software, which thankfully is a very powerful software. You can download it and on the website and request a trial license that you can use for a couple of months with full features. Okay, now the first thing, we're gonna build the control circuit here. Now as you can see, we've got a 24 volt and we have a negative or the neutral line. So we're going to pull the commands from the electrical control IEC. So you have to come create a project. First of all, you have to create a project, which I've already done. Okay, a new project, then you must come to electrical control and IEC. Okay, now from here, the first thing you need is your 24 volt supply. Okay, so I'm going to pull the 24 volt supply. Just drag and drop your 24 volt supply. Then you need the fuse. Okay, so you need to find a fuse. There is a fuse. Then you can choose which way you want your fuse to be. So if we want this thing to look exactly like that, then we must rotate the fuse. Okay, so let's just rotate it to left rotation. Okay, that's work. Okay, then the next thing here is obviously looking at this circuit here, we need the emergency stop. okay, and then the overload. So let's first look at the emergency stop contactor. So where are we going to get the emergency stop contactor? So let's click like this. Okay, it must be a normally closed. Normally closed. There is a normally closed. This one. There it is. Normally closed push button. So we take it. Emergency. We put it there. Then you need an alias. So here we can just say it's a stop. Okay. Right. Now the next connection here is the overload. So let's look at what we can use for the overload. If we can find an overload relay. So contact output components. Okay, we've got an overload relay here. So we can drag the overload relay. Okay, now the overload relay also need a name. So let's just say OL. Okay, which is just an overload. Now we need to finish our control circuit here with a start, which is a normally open, and then there will be a contact to it. So let's go to contact again. We need a normally open, which is a push button. Okay, so it is a normally open push button. Let's go there. There we can use this one as a normally open push button to put our start. Right. Then we need a coil. We can just drag this coil here. And we need the neutral. So what is this coil? We can give this coil an alias as a K1 as we've drawn on our circuit. Then we need the neutral. Okay. Great. Now we need a normally open contactor that must also close when we the relay is energized. So we're going to drag this one here. Okay. And we place him there. Okay, now this contactor need to be referenced. Okay, we need to link it to the coil here, because when we press start, the coil is going to be energized. As soon as the coil get energized, then this contactor also must close. So we need to link the contactor to K1, which is our coil. So we create a link, and then you can see that the two of them have been linked together. Okay, now we can go ahead and wire the circuit, which is very easy to do. Okay, just like this, just that, this way, and this goes that way. Oops, like that. Okay, now we need our start button here. I mean, our normally open contactor also must be linked that way, wired, and this way. Okay, now before we move on with the power circuit, let's give this a try with a simulation. So we go to simulation tab here. Okay, then we can run the normal simulation. Okay, and here, if we hit the start button here, the coil must energize and this contactor need to be closed. Let's give it a try. Now you can see that the coil is energized and the contactor closed. Now to stop it, obviously we need the emergency stop button there, and everything have been de-energized. Okay, now we don't have the settings yet for the overload and the fuses, so that's not the purpose of this tutorial here. Okay, now let's go ahead and do our power circuit. Now the power circuit here is very simple. We've got the blue, yellow, and red that are hooked up with fuses and the contactor and the overload, and we've got a 3-phase motor. So let's go back to our component here. Let's try the electrical control JIC standard. Then we've got L1, L2, and L3, which are the line that we need to drag into our build environment. So just click and drag. So we drag L1. Then you have to drag L2. And you did the same with L3. Right. Now the next thing is obviously we need fuses. So for fuses, let's go back to the electrical control IEC standard. Then you need power source or line. Okay, there we go. There is a fuse. Okay, then we must drag it. Okay, and let's rotate this fuse here. This fuse need to be rotated. So we rotate him left, and let's make duplicate of this fuse because that's much easier. So just copy and paste 3 times. Now the next element here is we need the contactor. So let's go to the control IEC and then find our normally open contactor. Okay, we can get a 3-phase contactor, or we can just get this single one, then we put them together, all 3 of them. Okay, so we must drag. Okay, now you can see that these contactors are also looking for a link, so you must also link it to K1. Okay, so you must link the contactor, must be linked with the K1 so that it can close when K1 also close. Okay, and you put that there, then that also need to be linked. So basically you must do that with all of them. You got the picture. Right, then the next thing here is we need the overload. Okay, so we need our overload relays. Where did we get the overload relay last time? Okay, I think it was on output. There we go. Overload. Then we must also drag 3 overload contact. Okay, so we must drag, and this is looking for an alias. It's just a name, so you can just say overload. Now you can just make a duplicate of all of them. Then we need a 3-phase motor. Okay, we only have a single phase motor here. Let's double click. Okay, when we double click, then we got 3-phase motor showing up. So we drag the 3-phase motor and then we just place him there. Then you can give him an alias as you wish. So we can just say motor. Okay, right, let's keep everything simple. Now we can start wiring this. Okay, make sure you don't miss any connection here, because if you miss a connection, then obviously your circuit is not gonna work. Connection. Then let's wire our overload relay. Right, now we can go ahead and wire the motor just like that. So basically very simple connections, no complications. So now to ensure that this circuit work, obviously we need to test it with a simulation here. If we've done everything right, when this contactor closes, the motor should turn, and we're going to see the direction in which the motor is turning, indicating that it is indeed turning. So I ran my simulation. So as you can see, all my phases here, they've got power. Now they're just waiting for the action coming from the start. So let's start. There we go. Now as we hit the start, kick close, now you can see all these contactors are now closed and the motor is indeed turning. Okay, so it's moving clockwise. Okay, so when I hit the E here, okay, I should be able to stop my motor. There we go. So the motor have been stopped. So we can start again. The motor start, we hit E, the motor stop. Okay, we hit here, the motor start, we come on the stop, we stop the motor. Now as you can see, this is a basics direct online motor control circuit with a power circuit. So this is it for this tutorial. I know it's been a bit long, so thanks for watching and sticking around. And if you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to CMTEQ channel for more tutorial. Until next time, cheers.